Somebody big just died. Bob Barker, the legendary host of The Price is Right, is dead at 99 years old. Here to help eulogize him is the one and only Mike North. Mike, how you doing, my friend?
Is my mic on?
It's on.
Oh, thank God. I hit something. I thought the mic went off. Then I said, I'm on. Joey, it's good to see you. Number one, it's good to be seen. It's good for us to be alive, but we are comedy non. Somebody that's big that just died. Sometimes if you watch the news, unless you're an icon, which is the case with our next person, you get short shrift. So we created, myself and my good friend Eldo Gandia, and Eldo, after having some surgery, coming along. I miss you, buddy. We miss you, but I know the bar room's going well. I'm going to be doing some bear stuff, hopefully with Joe.
That's right.
Going to be doing some bear stuff, and we're going to be around to sniff around maybe after bear games for a few minutes here and there. But I'll tell you what, I miss you, Eldo. Big part of my life, buddy, the last few years. So you get better. Me and BB, we're in your corner, you and Donna, and of course, Doodles and your family. So
absolutely.
Well, Doodles is my favorite. Aldo knows that. Anyway, somebody big just died, Bob Barker. Okay.
Oh, legend.
Just one of the greats. And here's what I'm going to say to start off. I had to do research because when you're around 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, you have to do research. I spent considerable amount of time on my hair. Will it ever be as good as Bob Barker's? I don't think so. That's what made Bob Barker. I'm sorry. Bob Barker is a legendary guy. This is me talking. I've seen them all. And when I say the guy's a legend, he's a legend. He never really messed up. You saw a lot of outtakes and stuff. But what I heard portrayed on the news is why I got Cumberland Chapel's funeral home to participate in this wonderful event at 8300 West Lawrence Avenue, Norwich, Illinois, 60706. There's the number. And just check them out, give them a call. They walk you through the whole process. And then we have, of course, Pennyville Station. And from banquets to private parties, to weddings, to just a regular everyday restaurant, great menu, Tony Antonacci and the people there in Park Ridge. Check them out. And when you look at what happened with Bob Barker, great life. But Joe, what did you hear on the news? You heard the cosmetic version, because I know not only I had to do my research, a lot of it, thank God, I was around when this happened the whole time.
Yeah, more than me.
Yeah, you have to do your research because you're like 30, 35?
Yeah, almost.
Almost. Don't worry about it, Joe.
You're good.
I'm the one that's supposed to be worried about getting there late. But tell me what you knew before you read about Bob Barker. Just tell me the generic deal.
Yeah, before I knew about Bob Barker, Mike, all I knew was that he was the host of The Price is Right forever, which I looked it up. It was 35 years. Mm-hmm. And then I knew that he was in Happy Gilmore when he got punched in the face by Adam Sandler. That's pretty much the extent of what I knew.
And that's basically what most people knew. And what you heard on the news is the reason we're doing this show. And you'll see pictures and videos periodically through the celebration of the life of Bob Barker. But and did anybody bring up he was Sioux Indian? Anybody bring up Bob Barker spent time on an Indian reservation, that went to school with Indian kids, always said the best part of his life was being Sioux? And yet I'm watching. And this is why when I went to Aldo expressed great interest, and our sponsors, because we're going to tell you everything. And there's just all you have to do. I think people take for granted we're just going to look them up. People don't look them up.
No.
You hear about Barker, you believe what they say on the news. This guy was in the Navy Reserve during World War II. He was a member of the Sioux tribe. Mm-hmm. He began hosting The Price is Right in 1972.
Yep.
So you're talking 50 years, okay? Before that, there he is. Look at this guy. You think he got laid?
What a head of hair.
Huh? Look at him with the beagle. The wife's exhausted. Look at this guy. What a life. See, when I tell people, if you're successful ultrally in the broadcast business, there's nothing better. Some people handle it better than others, but people have fun with it. That I've been considered myself blessed. What the guy on the right has in common with Bob Barker? Why they decide to
Zero.
I have never once said I got to watch Drew Carey on The Price is Right. I don't have anything against them, but I'm sorry. They didn't replace them. So they went the opposite direction. And to me,
Yeah.
The Price is Right. It doesn't matter who hosts it. Okay. I'm going to.
Oh, Mike, you muted yourself. Mike, you hit the mute button on accident.
So if you basically host something, if you've ever been on stage, he had it down. He knew how to make people comfortable. And that's what, now you probably watched it more than I did, but I watched it when Dennis James was the host before 1972, because when I used to cut school, 69, 70, 71, I'd come back home after my mom had left for work, go upstairs, and what did I watch? Dennis James on The Price is Right.
Midday TV.
Yeah, daytime TV was the greatest. It's crap now. It's horse crap. It's worse than horse crap. You rub the horse crap on you and say, I'm daytime TV. Don't get me angry. Kids love to miss school because it was a full day of game shows and seeing your favorite stars. And then you have a guy like this. And he said, I don't want to take Dennis James's job. I'll do something else. And CBS said, and that's the kind of guy Bob Barker is. CBS said, we got to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of him. Yeah. And that's what ended up happening.
And what a run. What a career. I mean, this guy got his start way back in the 50s, Mike. I mean, he was at the time, he got his break in 1956 from Ralph Edwards, who was the host at the time of a show which you might remember called Truth or Consequences.
Oh, I love Truth or Consequences. And it's the thing he did, Edwards, on the life of people. What was the name of that show? I forget. But I forget about it. But This Is Your Life.
This Is Your Life.
Debbie Reynolds. This Is Your Life. Burt Lancaster. That's the show that guy did. So he had some good connections, Bob Barker.
Oh, he certainly did. And he kind of ran with that into keeping his popularity through the 90s. And one of the biggest ways he did that, Mike, was with an iconic comedy called Happy Gilmore. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yep.
And real quick, I have a clip from the film, and then it's only about 20 seconds, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf.
All right, let's go.
Oh! You like that, old man?
You want a piece of me?
I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing. Oh!
The best.
I think what Adam Sandler did was genius. Bob Barker made the comment, I came originally out to Hollywood to be an actor. Who would have thought that it would have been Adam Sandler all those years later that made me the actor? Now, for people that didn't know he was even Indian, Sioux Indian, and other things.
Sure.
Another thing you didn't read about was the issues that he had. Now, let me just preface this. Bob Barker was a fine man.
Yes.
Bob Barker worked with countless hundreds of people over his career. For the most part, cleaner than the Board of Health. Take it from a guy who worked 31 years, who's still in the business. Yep. It's hard to walk through any business squeaky clean. And he had some issues in his career. Sexual harassment issues. I mean, the girls walked around in bikinis back then on The Price is Right. Or they're showing off a boat. They're in a bikini. They're showing off they're dressed provocatively. He's a good-looking guy. His wife had passed on. Okay. And believe me,
it was a different time.
He was a stud. Okay. Yep. So I do understand that he had some issues, and he also had a couple things like lawsuits and everything else that were involved.
Yeah.
When you look at some of the stuff that went on, lawsuits. Number one, model Diane Parkinson. I remember when that happened. She said the guy was sexually harassing me, worried about my job. I was worried about this, worried about that. That put a pall on Bob. Did you read anything about it? No.
No, it's buried deep in this man's career. That's for sure, Mike.
There's no doubt. And then there was others. She was forced to quit her job after a wrongful termination suit. He had trouble with a black employee that filed against him on certain charges. So, he wasn't squeaky clean, but when you're in the business 60 years and that's it, I mean, there's rap sheets on people that have been in the business that long, not making any excuse if he did do things, but he seemed to walk out of it squeaky clean, Joe.
Yep, never formally charged, and obviously went on to continue his career. I think I have here, Mike, that he hosted The Price is Right from 1972 all the way until 2007, a staggering 35 years.
Yeah. I keep saying, because it's in its 23rd year now. I mean, 2023. I said 50 earlier. I was putting even the correlation of the game shows beforehand, like the Joker's Wild. He did other shows before that, but he hit the mother-in-law. When you think of The Price is Right, you think of Bob Barker. You think of
absolutely.
Bob
He's the iconic voice.
Then, me being a dog lover, my wife being a dog lover, I'm not sure about the neutered, the spayed, and all that stuff. I do know he was supposed to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. And Betty White was supposed to be on the dais with him and receive one. He wouldn't go unless she didn't go. She did a tape version because he didn't like the way an elephant was mistreated that she had been involved with in some shoot. So he was devout about the protection of animals, like a lot of people are. I think at times Bob went overboard.
Yeah, every single sign-off.
Every sign-off, he went overboard sometimes. And that's fine. That was his belief, and that was his church. And he had the big church. So
he did.
99 years of age, buddy. Any final words, my friend, as we usher out? Yeah, I'm sure we have some more pictures. Let's show a couple more pictures. We'll make some comments.
Yep, and real quick before we show the pictures, I just wanted to play that sign off real quick for what he said every single time.
About that,
yes.
Okay.
Bob Barker, reminding you help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Every show he signed off the same way, Mike. And
I got news for Bob. Lotto's not spayed or neutered. How's that? Huh? Because he wants to go out.
He does.
But no, I
want to go out.
understand where exactly it's coming from. We have a lot of stray pets, a lot of adoption agencies. Our dog is a shelter dog, all kidding aside. And, I guess the best thing that could happen to a shelter dog is when he's adopted by a loving family. And Bob Barker did a tremendous job.
Tremendous animal rights activist for sure, Mike. And real quick, one other thing I want to bring up is over the course of his time on The Price is Right, he won 12 daytime Emmys.
Huh, look at him.
And he was given a Lifetime Emmy Achievement Award in 1999. I mean, what a life.
He still looks good there. I mean, come on. Yeah, he knew how to play the game. He knew how to make everybody comfortable. You move Drew Carey out of the way. I'm not a big.
we'll forget all about Drew.
I can't wait. Pat Zajak's leaving. I mean, but I go back to when Alan Ludden, Betty White were married, and he did Password. I mean, Dennis James before Bob Barker on The Price is Right. I mean, The Price is Right's been on 50 years. I think that's where I got my numbers screwed up with Bob and mixing him up with that. But a tremendous job. He also appeared in some commercials. He also did another shoot with Adam Sandler where he's in a hospital bed for charity, and he does the same thing, beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an unlikely pair. It's just absolute comedy right there.
It is, and his name was Bob Barker. God bless him. He was born December 12th, 1923, Darrington, Washington. Died Los Angeles, August 26th at 99. Television personality, game show host, radio, originally a radio guy.
Oh yeah.
Who
The
had
Voice.
gift of Sam. I'm getting tired of reading about the guy's jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Married once to the one woman, Dorothy Joe Gideon.
Yep, love his life.
1945 to 1981, years active. 1950 to 2007, took a year or two off. 2009 to 2019. So, Joe, I'm going to say my piece, and then you can lead us out the door. But thanks to Cumberland Chapels and, of course, the Pennyville Station. Thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks for hearing more about one of the greats in television history, a man who you saw from the time you were a kid, Bob Barker, R.I.P.
R.I.P. And remember, always remember to spay and neuter your pets.